tripod right real quick.
Hello, Twitch.
Why? All right, that
There we go.
got
All
me.
right.
Got you now.
Hello.
Hello.
Got you, man.
All right. Well,
What's up, fellas? What's up, Jason? What's up,
man?
Jacob?
How you doing?
I'm all right, brother.
Getting ready to start this episode. We ready to go?
You go live?
Yeah, we are live to Twitch right now.
Okay, go.
All right, Jacob, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's
Here
do
we
it.
go. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, that music can only mean one thing. It is time for the Open Micers Podcast. My name is Jason Robbins.
I'm Jacob Craig, and our guest tonight is a comedian hailing from New Orleans. He has also been a paranormal investigator before in the city of New Orleans. So we're going to hear all about those stories. We're going to talk about his stand-up in the New Orleans comedy scene. It can be the one, the only. Pickle is on the show. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing today?
Doing good, man.
We're good, man. We're good. So, first of all of our listeners want to know, where did you get the name Pickle from?
My name Pickle. You ever heard of a rapper called Sheik Luch?
I haven't.
No.
He is a rapper from New York. I'm sorry, my mother of my child's like trying to text me and shit. Please, I told you 7:30, girl. So he's a rapper from New York. And you ever heard of Jada Kiss or Styles P?
Yeah.
So he's the Sheik Luch is the third member of the Locks. He's the one, like, I guess not everybody really knows about. But he has a song, and in that song, he has a line that says, "The inner is tan, the outer is pickle." Okay, and I used to be a drug dealer, so my first car was a '98 Camry, and the inner was tan, the outer was pickle, and I ended up getting into a wreck with a lady, and I bought her car outright for $4,000. That's where the drug dealer shit comes into play. Or y'all wouldn't believe me. So she wouldn't call the police or the insurance company, and it was a better car than what I had. It was a '98 Sebring, bro. I loved it. It was the Pickle Mobile, the original Pickle Mobile. My buddies ride with me. The song comes on, and the line happens. The inner is tan, the outer is pickle. And my buddy looks at me. He's like, "Man, every car you get, the inner is tan, the outer is pickle. You pickle now." And I was like, "Man, fuck you, dude. That shit never gonna stick." I didn't like it at first. I went to his house. I went to his house later that day, and he had all like my nieces and nephews like singing and dancing like pickle, 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 pickle and shit. I went to work. Went to work the next morning. He's got everybody like, "Good morning, Pickle. What's up, Pickle? How you doing, Pickle?" I'm like, damn. And for me being a drug dealer, it kind of spread like wildfire, man. I ended up going to jail. And in jail, like 2 people knew me, and I was like hustling cards and stuff. You don't want to mess with me and like spades or tonk or anything like that. I'll take all your desserts and calories. You won't get all your oranges and tonk. You know what I'm saying? You won't get no vitamin C fucking around with me, bro. Yeah.
So on your rap sheet, when it says other known aliases, does it say Pickle?
Fuck no. That's where people fuck up at, bro. You don't put your alias on. When you go to jail, they give you a sheet of paper and it says alias. And people they put their alias on there, like your street alias, like it's a badge of honor. It's like, nah, bro, that's how they identify you. Why would you put that on there? You know what I mean? Like, I never put that shit on the paperwork they give. You ever been to jail?
Me, no, never.
Okay.
Jacob probably has. I don't know.
Not yet.
Jacob, you ever?
That's
Not
gonna be our
yet.
next Patreon special. Is me going to jail.
What would your other
No.
known aliases be, Jacob? Remember not to put it on the rap sheet thing.
Probably Whole Young Chicken. That's my rapper name.
Oh, chicken.
Whole Young Chicken. Young Gravy, eat your heart out. You know what I
Young
mean?
gravy. Give me all those meatloaf and mashed potatoes with peas, baby.
Here you
Young,
go. They
young gravy in the building.
call me bangers. They call Jason Mash. You know what I'm saying? We got that 1-2 punch going on. Bangers and mash in these streets.
Oh
So
yeah.
did you go to jail for dealing drugs?
No, I went to jail for doing drugs. My
Okay.
original sentence was like guns and drugs, like selling drugs and stuff. They tried to charge me. I got caught with a few bags of marijuana, my pistol, and some like pills. So I did get, I guess you could say, for dealing drugs, I was gonna go sell them, and do them.
Mm-hmm.
But they took them from me, and I ended up quitting selling drugs then. But when you quit selling drugs, nobody tells you you're gonna end up with a fucking habit. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I still had a habit,
Gotcha.
and that pill habit turned into heroin, and that heroin habit turned into me violating probation with more pills and stuff.
So man,
Um,
you've lived quite a life so
a,
far.
a little bit, a little bit
So
of the
how
life,
did
man.
all that move to being a paranormal investigator? Because that doesn't seem like a very smooth transition between those two things.
It's actually smoother than you think, bro. It's so um I went to rehab, and whenever I went to rehab, shout out Responsibility House, what's happening? They had a guy there, and he was like a house manager, and he was a paranormal investigator. So I went from jail straight to rehab, and that's where I met this dude. I started getting my life. I was working a program, got my life back together. I was sober for 2 years, and I got my life back from drug court. I did. They put the Jefferson Parish Police Corrections or whatever you want, the JPP. The judge gave me drug court, and I finished drug court in under 2 years, which is like it's like almost a record. You know what I mean? People get stuck in that shit. Well,
Yeah.
when I was in rehab, I met a dude, and he was a house manager of the rehab. And when I got done with drug court, I went back and found him, and he wasn't doing too well. Um, so I was like, "What do you want to do, bro?" I was trying to help him get back on his feet. He was like, "Man," and while I was in rehab, he owned a paranormal investigation business. So it fell apart, and because of they used to do tours out of this building in New Orleans that caught on fire, and it was it's a historic story. It was like it used to be a gay club, and like it was at the top of this building, and there was no fire escape, and a lot of people died in it. And they
Damn.
were doing like it was crazy. They said they were getting like I wasn't doing it at the time, but I've heard the stories. They were getting it. They felt like it was like a portal or something like that. But New Orleans is so old, you never know. They said they were getting like soldiers and all kinds of things, all kinds of different spirits through there. They weren't even getting like any gay people. You know what I'm saying? Like a bunch of gay
No.
people died, but they were like, "Fuck it, we're gone." You know.
Yeah, right.
So he was doing that, and it was successful at the time, but it fell apart because there was no fire escape on the building. So the city shut it down. So when I seen him and he wasn't doing well, I was like, "What you want to do, man?" And he was like, "I want to do paranormal investigation again, the tours." I said, "Well, let's do it. You got to teach me about it." So he had a real paranormal investigation team. We used to go to like houses and like check and see if there were spirits there. We had a bunch of equipment, a couple of suitcases of equipment. and we would check and see that if the place was haunted. You know,
So
we
you had
used to
like
go
the EVPs and all that kind of stuff.
the EVPs. I mean, dude, we had everything. And it felt like a long time ago, but it was like 2017 whenever we started doing everything again.
Wow. That is
2000,
surprisingly recent.
yeah. Um, it was like 2017 when we started, and we ended up getting that business going again. And we were doing places in Mississippi. They got actually a spot called the Little Red House. You can go look up the Little Red House
I've
in
heard of that. Yeah.
Mississippi. And the Little Red House is a house that was built on this plot of land, and the plot of land was haunted. And the Little Red House is haunted as fuck.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
can I curse on? Can I
Oh
curse
yeah,
on
yeah,
here,
yeah,
bro?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, we
for
were
sure.
the Little Red House was so haunted, bro. Like, this was my beginning stages, so they had a lot of the other investigators doing everything with the spirits, but they had them like turning on and off the chandelier lights. There was this there's this piece of equipment. It's what's the, it's like a round piece of equipment, and it has lights on it, and you get the spirits to like
Mm-hmm.
light up the red light for me, or light up the yellow light for me. I can't
Simon
remember,
Says?
something like that. It's not Simon Says, no, but it was like a real piece of equipment where they just
Yeah.
pick a light, and they were doing it. Like the spirits are so heavy in the Little Red House in Mississippi, dude. But that's like one example of a place that we would go do, and they would sell tickets to that. You know what I mean? That was like a live event
Yeah.
people would come to, and I mean, like they were selling tickets. I think $60 a person, dude. You know,
I mean, I understand the concept of paranormal investigation, but when you find something and something crazy's going on, then what? Like, do you call a priest or
you
like what do you
no,
do at that point?
you know, we were paranormal investigators. We wanted them to stay there. You know what I mean? That was our business. We just like conjure them up, stir them up, and get them to communicate with us. They have like things like Echo. You ever heard of Echo Vox?
Yeah, yeah.
That the Echo Box was one of my favorite things, because you could hear like what the spirits actually have to say. That was like one of my favorite pieces of equipment. And some people don't like the Echo Box, but I do, because it's a app on the phone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it people said that like it was programmed words in there, but if you use it for a few years, you realize that nothing's programmed. It's just using the words that are in the Echo Box that are programmed in there, and they're putting words together to speak to you.
Hmm.
It's crazy, bro. One time we were doing a plantation, and we were in a slave jail, and like we got in contact with like a 10-year-old girl in the slave jail. She like died in the slave jail. It was the creepiest thing I've ever come across. Like spine chilling. It was nuts. You know what I mean? The
Oh
stuff that
yeah.
you really encounter, dude. And people let you go into these places too. The amount of people that just let you go in and investigate their place like that is wild too. Because personally, I wouldn't want anybody in my house, haunted or not. You know,
Yeah, those are my ghosts. You don't touch my ghosts.
yeah, those are my group. Those are my friends. You know.
So do you get paid for doing that, or is it one of those things where you just kind of like, hey, we'll come check out your stuff for free?
um, so whenever somebody calls and contacts you, it's for free. You know what I mean? Like if they say, "Hey, we think we got a spirit. We think we got a ghost in our house. Can you come investigate?" Yeah, we came for free to investigate for a few hours. But when it came to like my paranormal investigation tours, like those were money. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like we ended up collaborating with the biggest tour guide company in Louisiana, in New Orleans, French Quarter Phantoms at the time, and we put together a tour at a place called St. Vincent's Orphanage. It's still there, but they renovated this place, and it looks so nice. I just did a comedy set over there.
Really?
Ryan, I don't know. I don't know if you heard of Ryan Rogers. Ryan Rogers runs a show
Yeah.
at St. Vincent's now, and this place went from like this place went from a crack hotel to a 5-star hotel. Man,
That's
they got
awesome.
such a great, yeah, they got such a great stage over there. I've been through a lot at that place. Spirits in there are wild.
Yeah, New Orleans is a cool place, especially for like the ghost tours and stuff like that, and the history tours. If you're into that type of thing, like I've done most of those tours,
Right.
and they're really
Well,
really cool and worth
our
it.
our tours was definitely worth it because it wasn't like a regular tour. You know what I mean? They don't just give you we didn't just give you like an EVT meter or EVP meter and send you out on the streets of Bourbon Street and like point it at the light. Oh my God, there might be a a spirit right there. It's sparking up. You know, no, we went in this building, dude. Like I said, we had like 3 suitcases of equipment, and we would show people. The beginning of our tour was 15 minutes of us breaking down the equipment. You know what I mean? And that's actually where I found out I could do comedy also. So it's weird how one thing transitions into another. I found out I could do comedy there because I used to get like people, like crowds of 15 to 20 people a night. So I would have this spiel, and in my little spiel, I would have little jokes here and there. One of my jokes is everybody knows that ghosts create cold pockets, but they also create hot pockets, and people would laugh. And at the end of my tour, one time, this girl came up to me, and she was a pretty blind girl, and she came up to me and she was like, "Hey, I'm a comic. I'm an LA comic, and you're funny. You should be a comedian." And I was like, "Yeah, right, girl. Stop playing with me. You know what I mean? Like, you trying to fuck or something? Like, stop playing with me right now." Lo and behold, that girl knew what she was talking about. You know, she knew what she was talking about. I don't know who that girl is to this day. So if you out there, contact me. Um, that was crazy, bro. It's like crazy how the world knows or the universe knows, you know, and it's like right in front of you.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
comedy was right in front of me, and I didn't even realize,
So
and I was doing it.
do you still do paranormal investigating, or is it just kind of one of those things you
Uh,
kind of left?
no, 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 no time for that anymore. I used to. I did it for a while after me and one of my other partners. So the dude, we ended up breaking up. 2018, we had the biggest paranormal tour in America voted by USA Today, and it was great. You know what I mean? But we ended up breaking up. Um, excuse me, over petty BS. You know what I mean? It's always over petty BS. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
money bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So we finished out that year, and it kind of like died off, and the team broke up, which is a shame, dude. We almost had a TV show and everything. You know, we were close. We were close.
So
That
that's
would have been
cool.
awesome, man. You could have been like the killer bees on Moonshiners. You could have been the pickle of the Paranormal Investigators.
Yeah, bro. I was wanting to go drop some jokes for people. You know, mess with them.
Yeah.
Um,
Do a
I
set for ghosts.
That would have been a cool show. It'd be like Pickle's
it,
Paranormal Investigations.
it was 3 of us. It was 3 of us. We were gonna be on a show, me and two other of my teammates, and it would have been fun, you know. But I'm kind of glad I'm out of it because that spirit stuff is it's real. It's people don't realize it, but when you get like deep into it, those paranormal investigators and stuff you see on TV, those dudes are tormented, bro. They're really in their behind the camera life, like spirits fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? It's a depressing life. It really
Oh
is.
wow.
You know.
So have you ever had like a spirit get like violent with you or something?
Yeah, in my dreams, I've killed spirits in my dreams. It's fucking crazy, dude. Like that's a different level. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm glad I don't do it no more, dude. Because it's like doing witchcraft without knowing you. I didn't know I was doing black like magic, kind of. You know?
Huh.
Yeah.
I thought I was just like just doing some. I didn't know it was real. at the beginning. You know what I mean? Like I thought people were bullshitting me. And when I found out everything was real, I was like, oh man, uh, it gets freaky, bro. It gets creepy. You know what I mean? Like spirit can attach itself to you. For example, we have at St. Vincent's, I had this Russian lady one time. She was like a Russian mail order bride with this old dude, this really fucking old dude. And we had this thing called a grid. Have you ever heard of a grid? It's just a laser grid, and you turn it on, and it puts like it was like small strobe light kind of effects, but it's still and it's over the whole room to make the room dark. And this Russian lady was sitting down. She had a purse on her shoulder, and I turned the grid on, and this was the only time this ever happened. I turned the grid on, and it was on her, but I could see a shadow from her neck down. And she was pretty too, bro. And she talked Russian. You know what I mean? I don't know why I sound like Zangief whenever I say Russian. But she was really Russian. And it was Russian. How about that? Russian. It was creepy, bro. So I turned the grid on to her. The shadow was from her neck down, and then all of a sudden it sucks into her purse. I see it like suck into her purse, and she goes, "Oh man, my purse just got heavy." And I said, "Oh shit, that a spirit just attached itself to you, sweetheart." And what we did was like we made her like kind of like shun the spirit away. Like, you can't attach me. You have to stay here on this property, kind of thing. And hopefully it worked.
That's
Hopefully it worked. Dude, it's freaky. There's some freaky things that happen. The freakiest thing that ever happened is what's your question?
I was just gonna ask
No,
that.
go-
I was like,
go ahead.
what's the weirdest thing that you've ever seen?
The weirdest thing I've ever seen at St. Vincent. So we used to put our whenever at the end of our tour, I've got you all like primed and ready to be a paranormal investigator and use this equipment. So I put you in the room with equipment by yourself, and I leave you there for 15 minutes. All right. And I went to the bathroom, and on the way to the bathroom this one time, well, when I left people in the room, there was a fat guy with a naked lady and a camera, and I was like, "Holy shit, these dudes are shooting a porn." That was some creepy shit. Watching this dude, this huge man with a nasty look in his eye, like, yeah, the
Ghost porn, dude. Hell yeah.
ghost fucking porn. It was fucking wild. That's how good. That used to be a crackhead hotel. Nah, St. Vincent's had some really creepy spirits. There were children spirits in St. Vincent's. And the weird thing is, we did the tours there for a little over a year. And I found out you can get to know spirits. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had certain spirits. We had one spirit, and every time I brought a group of people in a certain area, this little girl would say rape through either the Echo Box or what's that? The static box. You know what I'm talking about.
Um, I, I mean, I've watched a lot of paranormal investigation shows, so I've probably seen whatever it is you're
There's
talking
only
about.
there's only there's only two things that of today that you can speak through words, like physical words with spirits. It's the echo box and it's like a spirit box. They call it a spirit box, I think. That's what it sounds like, and it uses the radio frequencies from the radio around you, and it lets the spirits use the radio frequencies to pull words and use words. So we would use that, and this young girl would scream out rape.
Dude.
I mean, dude, it never failed. And from doing it for so long, one time I asked the little girl, why do you keep screaming rape? And she was able to answer back, because I want everybody to know. And I was like, everybody to know who did it. And then she came back with the word priest. And I was like, holy shit. And we, like, dude, it took them a while. It took me about 8 to 9 months to get that answer. out of this spirit.
Wow.
And it was the creepiest thing. I had about 10 to 12 people in the room with me, and it was just shivers up our spine. She said, and this place used to have a priest. I believe his name was Paul. I believe his name was either Paul or Peter or something like that. Started with a P. I know that. And she just wanted everybody to know that that priest was molesting the children, I believe. And I was like, holy shit, like that's some crazy shit to stumble on, it really is. They also had a doctor there. This is the story about the doctor. There was an evil doctor that would mess around and like experiment on the kids and kill them too. Um, so we used to do things like the kids. We had a couple kid spirits that liked to play with. One of my favorite things was a ping pong ball. A regular ping pong ball, dude. This ping pong ball, we would take this ping pong ball and just put it on the table, and we would start talking to the spirits and like trying to get them to start playing with the ping pong ball or move it or roll it. You know what I'm saying? And this thing, one time, it's almost like the spirits could feel what we were thinking before we said something or before we did it. And I was like sincerely at the point where I was like, y'all can't roll that ball. In my heart, I felt it. I was like, y'all can't roll that ball. And that night that I felt that, this ball lifted up and rolled directly straight towards me. And I was like, oh, okay. And the creepy part about that is one of our other investigators got it on camera. And by the end of the night, that video was erased off of her phone.
What?
Yeah.
Oh
it got
God,
erased
dude.
off of her phone, dude. I'm getting chills telling you this right now. Literally, it was erased off of her phone, bro. And it was just fucking creepy. I was, damn. So they didn't like being recorded over there. Like they would shut down if people started recording, they wouldn't do anything. They did not like being recorded. They told us.
So you went from a complete skeptic to a complete believer through that whole
Complete
thing.
believer, man. One of my favorite things to communicate with was witching rods. Dowsing rods.
Yeah, I've seen those before.
Those were my favorite, man. I can have a whole conversation with the spirit through dowsing rods. It was great.
Have you
And
ever
when you
seen
hold
those?
dowsing rod,
Have you ever seen those, Jacob? The rods that he's talking about, where
No.
they're like little handles with two metal rods that go out, and you hold them in front of you, and you ask like yes or no questions, like yes, cross, like no, and it'll go apart. So you can ask a spirit questions, and the rods will go back and forth.
A long time ago, they would use them to find water underground.
Yeah, it's like a divining rod.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah.
Dividing rods, but they're called witching rods also.
Gotcha.
So those were like my favorite form to communicate with, because it was like speaking with them, but without them verbally using words. And when you hold them, when you hold witching rods, and the spirits grab the witching rods, you can feel it in your hands. Like you can feel it's like an electric current going through the rod through your hand. It's the craziest thing.
So I'm not joking here. I'm pretty sure that my place of residence is occupied by one or more spirits, at least two spirits. What should I do to communicate with them? Should I communicate with them? And should I try to get rid of them? And what can I do to try to get rid of them?
Are they messing with you?
Not heavily, but they've done stuff like the other day I was getting fucked with really hard, where there's this bath toy of my daughter's that kept going off on its own in the bathtub. And then I would go and check it out, and I would try to make it turn on and go off, and it wouldn't do it. And then as soon as I put it down and walked away, it would go off.
Yeah, they like stuff
I took
with
the
noise.
batteries out of that motherfucker. Yeah,
like
and they would do stuff
bathrooms.
like knock over cups in the bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah, they like bathrooms for some reason. I don't know if it's the water or whatever, but they like bathrooms, and they like stuff that with like lights and noise that they can manipulate. Um, if you don't want them around, if they're not doing any like real bad harm, if they're not fucking with your dreams, if they're not messing with your baby or anything like that, I mean, you don't have to mess with them at all. Because you never know what to do. Once you break that fourth wall, you never know what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
It could be a good spirit, it could be an evil spirit. You know what I'm saying? But once you break that fourth wall, it's broken. You know, but you can. I would say like, dude, my crazy shit is my girl is a freaking witch, and she'll tell you that like you need to like protect your house, you know, get the oil, and or like look up the way they do that salt shit or whatever. They protect the doorways and stuff. And but personally, I would just say if you're there by yourself one day, speak to them, acknowledge them. Let me tell you. Let me tell you what really the story about really caught my attention that goes for real, and I couldn't mess with it anymore. So they say you get whatever this is from the mother, from like I got it from my mom, and I remember my mom saying that she can tell there were spirits in our old house, and she would tell the spirit to leave or whatever. All right. So it's the way I said that to tell you this, like spirits always mess with me. I've always been a chef. I was a chef for over 10 years of my life. And for some reason, when I'm alone in kitchens, they come out. I've been doing dishes in one kitchen and there's like nothing, there's like a wall and a shelf with a spray bottle hanging on the shelf by the hook part of the spray bottle, and that bitch just come flying at my head. You know what I mean? And like shit like that, like they would show themselves to me like that, and I always ignored it. You know, but one time I'm working in a kitchen on Iberville and Decatur, the corner of Iberville and Decatur in French Quarters. It was Rotolo's Pizzeria, bro. And it was like I was shutting the kitchen down. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, dude. And let's say there's like a table here, and on above the table on the wall, there's a hook with about a 10 to 15 pound bag of red onions, and underneath that, there's a gallon of red hot sauce just pushed up against the wall. I turned to click off the light, and all of a sudden, this bag of onions lifts off the hook and hovers there for like the longest 10 seconds of my life, bro. And I was like, you know, I might have been drunk in 19, but I wasn't crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like that fucking bag dropped on the bottle of hot sauce and bust everywhere in the kitchen. And I was like, you piece of shit ghost. I just cleaned this kitchen. I can't I can't I can't believe you just did that
You
shit.
better grab a mop.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, man. And so so I cleaned it up, but while doing that, I acknowledged that the spirit was there. Sometimes that's all they want. They want you to acknowledge them. Like I was like, yo, I know you're here. I acknowledge you're here. You know what I mean? So I talked to them, and I was like, please don't do this to me anymore. I'm trying to go home. You know what I'm saying? I turned the click off the light one more time, and then the radio popped on with that song, I'm coming out. I want the world to... Dude, I'm telling you, the creepiest shit happens to me. I was like, what the fuck? You, you can come out all night long, you know what I'm saying? You can even like wave that colorful flag. You know, I support the gays. I do. I love my gay friends. But it's 2:30 in the morning right now, and I'm waving the white flag. I'm going home, motherfucker. Yeah, I'm going home, bitch. I pulled the plug and turned off the light, left. You know, but after that, the spirits didn't fuck with me no more. Like they really left me alone. So you can try acknowledging them, and just be like, "Yo, I know you're here," and if you don't feel like it's a bad spirit, then you can just leave it be. If
So
it's
what do
not
you
fucking with
Yeah.
you.
what do you think it is about New Orleans that makes it such a hot spot for paranormal activity?
I think it's just because it's such an old city, dude. I mean, it's an old city, bro. And you know what's crazy? You get they got this. Me, I mean, I contacted Jean Lafitte before. We think it was Jean Lafitte. You know who that is?
Mm-hmm.
He's a pirate, and there's this place on Bourbon Street. We were about to start doing tours there through the tour company. So we would have to go and investigate this place. So the place we were looking at is called the Absinthe House. And the Absinthe House used to be a whorehouse. All right. It was Jean Lafitte's favorite whorehouse.
Yeah, I think I
He
know
would
where you're
go
talking
there.
about. Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
know it is.
it's very popular. It's very popular, dude. He would go to this whorehouse and he would talk to the general of the fleet, general of the American Army, and they came and they put together a plan to win their battle at this fucking place. So we go, me and my buddy John. Shout out John, what's up? That's my partner. He's another paranormal investigator. We went to this place and started investigating one night, bro. And and it got creepy, dude. You know how those old New Orleans um buildings are built, like they have shutters on them
Hmm?
still. They have
Yeah.
these big
Yep.
shutters on the second floor on those balconies. So we're contacting the spirit and we're like, "Are you Jean Lafitte?" And it comes back as a yes. And as it comes back as a yes, the shutters start going, bah! I'm like, "Oh, bro, I ain't never left the room before, but I'm gonna leave this room right now." It was creepy, dude. It was so creepy, bro. It was,
Wow.
I've never had
He's
shutters.
probably a strong ghost too.
He probably is. He probably really is. Because I mean, like, these are big shutters, and it was all around the building. You know what I'm saying? They were just pop
Mhm.
pow, and I was like, "Let's get the fuck out of here, dog. I fuck these tours." You know what I mean? It was that creepy, bro. It was that fucking creepy, dude. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we were coming in contact with old spirits. But what's weird is we also came in contact with like newer spirits as well. Some of them had a sense of humor. One of our favorite things to do, we would sing songs and get the spirits to sing back to us. You know what I'm saying? So we'll go, we want to sing a song with you. Can we sing a song? And they'll say yes. And the song it will go like twinkle twinkle, and they'll come back, little star. You could hear them through the echo box of the spirit box, and that's what happened. Well, this one time I was like, "Are you a Saints fan?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh shit." So one of my buddies was like, "All right, we're gonna sing a Saints song, and we want you to finish. We want you to finish it." And this dude said, "Oh, when the Saints," and clear as day through that spirit box, it went pop, 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 stopped and said, "Goes marching in," and we all like backed up. We're like, "Whoa, fuck, that was the bee's knees right there." We got a Saints fan ghost.
Hell
Who
yeah.
that, baby?
Awesome, man. Too bad he's not hot in the stadium. He'd help
Yeah.
him out a little bit.
Yeah.
We
Help
found him in the
complete a few
broiler.
passes.
We found him. You're right. We found him in the broiler room at St. Vincent's. So it was hot in that room. That was a creepy room itself. Like one
So
time, we were in the broiler room at St. Vincent's house. St. Vincent's. It was called St. Vincent's Guest House at the time we did it, but it was really St. Vincent's Orphanage. But it used to have a slave quarter. That's how old this building was. And we asked the spirits, this was like a slave quarter house. And we asked the spirits, we were like, "How many people used to live in this house, in this one building?" And they said 30. Like it gave us like a clear answer, 30 people. And this is like a 10 by 15. You know what I mean? It's not a big fucking building, bro.
Yeah.
And no telling this. And this is probably a new building. It was just built on the spot where they were, you know. And it was creepy, bro. One time I was talking to these spirits. I felt something over me, like heavy, just over me. And I said, "Hey, are y'all behind?" I said, "Hey, are you behind me?" And it came through the Echo Box. I was using the Echo Box, and it came through the Echo Box, and it said, "Yes, we are." And when it said "we," I was like, "Oh shit, there's two of y'all!" Like, hey, bro, I could feel them. Like they were tall and they were like hovering over me. You know what I'm saying? I can almost feel them right now. I feel like I'm calling them back right now. Go back.
So all this
Dude.
led to you doing comedy. Like that's a weird transition too, man.
I mean, what really led to me doing comedy, I was in like a really bad place, a really low place in my life. I was on drugs. I was on drugs real bad. And I I my girlfriend went out of town. The girl I was girlfriends with, my girlfriend at the time went out of town, and I had strung together 7 days clean. And I love like TD Jakes. You know who TD Jakes is?
Mm-mm.
No.
He's a Dallas preacher. Um, so I was listening to TD Jakes in the middle of the night, and after I had strung together 7 days clean, and I got finished with the sermon, dude, and I started crying. Some of like truest tears I've ever cried in my life. It was like the truest tears. And I looked up and I was like, yo, God, like I know there's something I'm here for other than this. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something I'm here for. And I need to know. And dude, I sat down on the bed and I put my head between my legs, and in my left ear I heard a whisper, like a small whisper, and it said, "Stand up." And I stopped crying immediately. And I got up and I said, "Stand up." Okay, stand up. And I looked into the New Orleans comedy scene, and lo and behold, that we had like a nice sized comedy scene. Like I done stumbled onto the underground. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I started, bro. That's what really pushed me towards, like, I'm so stupid. I feel like God had to actually tell me. He had to, he had to actually whisper in my ear, you know. Like I couldn't take that fucking hint at St. Vincent's from that comedy girl. You know, I'm just that, like, I didn't believe it then, you know. So, and it really, like, it was like a physical stand up in my left ear. I heard him say it, and I was like, okay, and it worked out.
I mean, there's something to be said for that. Like, if you're looking for what you should do, or just if you're looking for signs, the universe will present you with, the directions of where you need to go.
Yeah, you know, you got to open your eyes to it, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And don't underestimate yourself, because at the time that's what I was doing. The universe might have told me to do comedy, and I just didn't realize it. You know what I mean? I at the time I was underestimating myself. I guess I didn't believe in myself that much, you know. And I got pushed into it by spirit, by God, by whatever you want to call. I have a higher power. God's my higher power, and I believe He pushed me into it. You know, and I've been doing pretty good.
Awesome. Well, it's been a journey. This conversation, man. We've been glad to have you on the show. We got to start wrapping up here pretty soon, but we'll have to have you back on and have to tell you. You can tell some more creepy paranormal stories on the show here.
I would love to. Man, I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, I'm
absolutely
Absolutely, dude. Thanks so much for giving us your time, man. I'm legitimately freaked out from all from listening to all the stories, dude.
Jacob's not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
I've done my job. You know,
Dude, literally the other day when I started getting fucked with by what I assume is a ghost, I got some holy water and started splashing it around the fucking bathroom, dude. Like,
yeah.
I am neurotic when it comes to ghost shit.
So look, if you really want to, what you can do is when, like I said, when no one's there, talk to it, talk to the spirit. Be like, hey,
Yeah.
this is my house now. Tell them like, you might have lived here before, but this is my house now, and I would like you to leave. You know,
I
that's
think it's my asshole uncle because his
really.
ashes are in here.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
you
and
never know.
if it's that motherfucker, he can get out.
He hasn't tried to like touch the back of your ear, mess with you, or nothing like that, huh? Like uncles do, just pull
No.
pull a floating quarter out.
Yeah. No, nothing like that yet. But it's been since he died that some shit has been happening. So I think it might be
Okay.
him.
All right. People watch over you, though. We have angels, dude, that watch over us. People that are in our lives, they pass away, they still watch over us. You know, I've had somebody tell me that one of my best friends still watch over you. I had like out the blue lady who does like real uh like I told you, my girl, she's a witch, so she does all those like tarot card readings and stuff like that. But she knows this lady who's like an underground psychic or something like that to the paranormal world, and she like reached out to me, like she almost forced my girlfriend to make like let us talk, and she told me a whole bunch of crazy stuff, you know? And that's creepy in itself when somebody starts telling you about a spirit when they never knew your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This person's watching over you. That's fucking creepy, dude. You know. She told me every time I see a light flicker when I walk by, it's him like watching over me. He was a tough motherfucker too. So.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
Well,
But I do. I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Do you have any dates you want to tell the people about before we leave here tonight?
I got all kind of days. When's this? Well, this Sunday I'm headlining Comedy House, New Orleans. Let's see. I'll be in Texas from the 2nd to the 11th. I don't know exactly every day. I think the 4th I'll be in Fredericksburg. The 5th, the 5th, shit, 5th San Antonio. I believe. I think it's the 8th. I'll be at Creek in the Cave. I know the 11th. I'll be at Southeastern Comedy Club in Austin. East Austin Comedy Club. That's what it is.
Cool.
The 11th. I'll be on 2 shows. East Austin Comedy Club.
And you have an Instagram people can follow, huh?
Yeah, man. You can follow me out there. Pickle House 504. Pickle House 504. Plus, my name is on there. And you can go to my Facebook, and my Facebook is my name, my real name, Nicolo Giardina.
All right, I'll put all that in the show notes. So if you want to go follow him on Instagram or follow him on Facebook, go check out the show notes and go see him live. He'll be telling jokes.
See me live. I'm doing all right out here.
Yeah. You know? Well, it was absolute pleasure having you on the show, Jacob. You got anything you want to throw out there for the people before we leave tonight?
Just that if you are a patron, you have access right now to our patron special for the month. It's me trying to eat vegetables and failing. I almost threw up Brussels sprouts. I've never eaten a vegetable in my entire life, but I've tried.
Oh, no.
I tried. And if you if that sounds funny to you and you're not a patron, go give us $1 a month and you'll be able to watch it right now.
There you go.
I'm so disappointed in you. But if you guys want to email us at openmicerspodcast@gmail.com. We're at openmicers on Twitter and Instagram, and also openmicers on Facebook.
And also, I have a podcast on YouTube, Pickles House. Go watch that, Pickles House, plus putting the FU in front of you. I got 2 podcasts on YouTube. Pickles House. And I do one with Brandon Bruffett called "Putting the FU in Funny."
Putting the FU in funny. All right.
There it is. Go
Hell yeah.
subscribe to those.
Awesome. Well,
Thank you guys.
all right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and play the music again, and thank you so much for hanging out with us. And but yeah, I don't have anything to push right now other than go check out my other podcast, Nerd Cave Retro. If you like retro games, we talk about retro game stuff over there. So thank you guys for listening to us, and leave us a review wherever fine podcasts. So we'll give it away for free. So we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Should have tried eating a pickle.
Thank you, fellas. That was fun.
Thank you,
Absolutely,
everybody, for
dude.
watching
Thanks so much
on
for coming.
Twitch, and everybody's watching us on YouTube later on. We will see you